situation today and tomorrow. We really will see some colder temperatures begin to filter in here Saturday night, Sunday through Tuesday next week. And because we're going to have bitterly cold air in place and wind chill values that will be in the single digits and teens for Arkansas, which I'll show you in just a moment, I've issued a weather impact alert. And this is for, impactful weather conditions, could be dangerous weather conditions, nuisance weather conditions. I think over the next 3 days, considering that it's going to be the coldest air that we've seen so far this winter, and that we've got to deal with quite a bit of wind with this, and temperatures will bottom out in the single digits and teens. This is warranted. Just to remind you of those things. We've talked a lot about streaming faucets, and I think it's important. Take it from a guy who a couple of years ago had a pipe burst in his house and thought I was doing everything right. I was dripping the faucets. Not all of them. You have to stream them. Light stream, hot and cold water. That's what the plumber told me. And I think this air mass could cause some problems in that regard. Also, there's a lot of folks out there that may not have adequate heat. If you know somebody that needs a little help in that department, try to reach out and give them a hand. This is the coldest air mass so far. And also keep an eye on your pets. A lot of folks have outdoor pets. Might want to bring them inside for this. And this is going to be one of these air masses where you'll need to dress in layers, especially as we approach Monday and Tuesday, with our temperatures dropping off into the single digits Monday morning and wind chill values also in the single digits. It's going to be very, very cold outside. So that's the weather impact alert. This is going to go through Tuesday. And let me just show you a little bit more in detail what you can expect. The Arctic air begins to invade Saturday night. I think that frontal boundary is going to move through central Arkansas a little earlier than expected. I think it's going to move through during the early afternoon in central Arkansas tomorrow, in northern Arkansas through the morning hours. Temperatures may stay below 32 degrees in some parts of Arkansas from Sunday through Wednesday afternoon. Plus, we'll have wind gusts upwards of 15 to 30 miles per hour. So that's what's really going to add that bite. And those wind chills will begin to plunge off, especially Monday morning and Tuesday morning. Those are going to be the two coldest mornings moving forward. Might be wanting to know, where is that boundary? It is to the north of us. Low pressure is to the west of us. That graphic went a little quickly there. Let me back it up. I want to talk a little bit about the timing of this front. We do have an area of low pressure that's going to bring some clouds and even some shower activity to Arkansas today. Some places may have already received a little bit of light rain. That's really not associated with the front. That's going to move out ahead of the front. But if you look to the north, that blue is snow, light snow falling in the cold air mass. That front is really picking up speed, and we'll be moving into Arkansas late tonight through the early morning hours. All right, now a little closer inspection for the afternoon hours. We are expecting a few showers. Otherwise, it's going to be mostly cloudy and a mild day today. The last warm day for at least 7 or 8 days. Another plunge of this cold air is forecast to come in not only this week, but we could see another round of cold air toward next week, late next week into the weekend. And also, again, can't rule out the chance of anything wintry. Let's go over the highs. First of all, tomorrow as that front moves through, we'll see temperatures jump into the upper 40s. Front moving through northwest Arkansas around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then through central Arkansas by 1 or 2 o'clock. Our temperatures will go up into the upper 40s, but then drop off pretty rapidly in the afternoon and evening hours. By Sunday morning, we'll be in the mid-20s, teens in northwest Arkansas. That's just the leading edge of this cold air mass that's expected, because from there, Monday, only a high of 28 for Little Rock. Only 29 Tuesday. Then we'll begin to see that air mass warm a little bit. Back into the upper 40s toward the end of the week. In just a moment, when we get into our models, I'll show you the projection of where some precipitation could fall in Arkansas, little Tuesday, then again next week. And with the way things are set up, with the cold air in place, low pressure develops somewhere along the Gulf Coast. That's going to sling moisture back over the top of this cold air mass, but it's so dense and dry, it may not make it into most of Arkansas. Mornings ahead. Average low today should be about 31. Look at the numbers. They drop off into the teens Monday and Tuesday. That is for the Little Rock metro area. It will be even colder in northern Arkansas, southern Arkansas, maybe low 20s. And now the winds. Winds out of the northwest, at times 10 to 15 15 to 20 or even 30 mile per hour gusts. So the wind chill values certainly do bear watching here. You will want to bundle up as you head outside. All right, a little more of a statewide viewpoint now. High forecast for Sunday, if we make it to 33 here in Little Rock, from 24 to 40 down in Camden. Monday, we begin to feel some of that colder air statewide, upper 20s and low 30s for Monday and Tuesday, and then by Wednesday, we'll begin to see this air mass modify somewhat, and our temperatures will warm back up. Our lows, this is where I think you're really going to feel it. This is what's dangerous and why we say, hey, you might want to stream your faucets and get those pets inside. Single digits expected, Harrison, Fayetteville, Mountain Home, and then as you get down into central Arkansas, Searcy could be as cold as 12 Monday morning, 15 Hot Springs, 18 down in Monticello, and Tuesday morning, it stays very cold with low teens to low 20s over central and southern Arkansas. By Wednesday morning, still very, very cold outside. All right, so there are the lows forecast. How about the wind chill values? And this is where it really starts to bite you a little bit with that wind. It'll feel like 9 in Harrison and Fayetteville to 26 Monticello. That is Sunday. Monday with wind chill values in the 20s. And this is for the morning hours, single digits for Tuesday morning. For a good part of Arkansas. I think I have to go back to Monday real quick. Something didn't make sense there. And, oh, that's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, now I know why. All right. Should have changed that to 6 a.m. Tuesday, but you get the idea. Monday and Tuesday morning are going to look very, very similar. So with it being cold outside, I think you're going to have to pull out an extra layer with this cold air mass moving in. We're talking about extreme cold. That means that maybe a warm hat or a hood. You got to have that with your gloves and possibly 2 to 3 layers of clothing, and those winter boots may not be such a bad idea. And we got to keep an eye on hypothermia. You know, if you're outside for too long and you don't have adequate warmth and insulation, then you could get sick, folks. Slow, shallow breathing, confusion, memory loss. I have that every day. But drowsiness, exhaustion, slurred speech, those are just some signs and symptoms of hypothermia or slow, weak pulse. You're getting a little bit too cold, need to find some heat. So that's what's coming at us. And I do want to spend a few minutes now talking about winter weather because I know there's been a lot of things going around about, oh, it could do this Tuesday or it could do that Monday. Our model graphics update every 6 hours, and there's so many out there. We have ensembles that we look at. You get 30 or so ensemble models, but only 2 or 3 may project a little snow. So you have to go with the odds that you're not going to get snow, right? I'm confident that we're going to have enough cold air that if anything falls, it would be snow. But the confidence really drops off because with this cold, dense air mass, we're not going to see as much moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. There could be enough in southern Arkansas, but more likely over Louisiana, in Mississippi, and also even Florida, Alabama. So let me take you on a little trip. We're looking at Storm Track 11, and I'm going to walk you through our model guidance. This is the latest information that came through not long ago. It's our 12Z data. The model that I see up right now is what we call the UCMET. All right, from across the pond, and it's showing. And keep in mind, this is, you take into consideration all of these things when you develop a forecast. This is for Wednesday, or I should say Tuesday at 6 o'clock. It's showing cold, but precipitation is relegated to the Gulf Coast. European model, I want to go over there. European also indicating very cold. Most of the moisture stays to the south of Arkansas. Canadian model pushes it a little far north. This is where things kind of go, okay. So we have at least one model that says we might pick up a little bit of snow over parts of the state. So we keep that into consideration. What about our GFS? And Nathan and I like to use European and GFS, and occasionally we'll take a look at the Canadian model or the ICON model. But the GFS is saying most of it stays along the Gulf. So, and you can come back to me, Mike, and just looking at those models for, and they're the latest, the 12Z data, and this is what we use to do our afternoon forecast. Looking at that, I can't go with the Canadian model and say, okay, I got to put snow in the forecast. Although in southern Arkansas, we'll put in a very small amount right now. That's 1 out of 6 models that's, okay, there might be some snow down there. But you got to take it all into consideration. And sometimes you've got some enthusiasts out there that have access to this. They'll take that page and go, hey, look, folks, it's going to snow. Well, it takes a little bit more than that. You just can't use one run of one model to say it's going to do that. But I will tell you this again, confidence is high. We got the cold air, just don't have the moisture overall, and it doesn't look like we're going to have much in the way of wintry precipitation. But let's look down the line. In the 7 to 8 day window, we can go back to our models. I do want to take you to next Thursday and Friday because something interesting is showing up that we have to keep a close eye on. Let me find Thursday. Okay, this is Thursday afternoon. And we'll do the same thing. European model, again, another area of some moisture there in Texas. A Canadian model takes it away, nothing there. GFS, not much. The Icon, not much there as well. And also our other model, the UCMET, not showing us anything. This is Thursday at 6 o'clock. But as we work our way through the Friday time period, things begin to evolve a little bit more according to the European model. But what about the other models? Canadian model, GFS, the Icon. Yeah, the European's off on its own. And I truly like that model the best for winter weather and precipitation. It seems to be a little more accurate. And as you get closer in time, you also you can deal with the more short-range models, the in-house graph model that we have. We've got the high-resolution rapid refresh model every 48 hours. So to me, you take it with a grain of salt. I'll believe it when I see it in most regards. What was different in the snowfall was that most of the long-term models were on top of it and projected this big amount of snow that was going to fall, and then it went into our mid-range and short-range models. It all pretty much verified. So any precipitation next week, I still need to see some verification of that. We'll throw in a very small chance of a just in case, but I think it's going to be mainly dry early in the week and then late in the week. That 8 to 9 day window, we may see something develop over the Gulf of Mexico. But will the cold air be there? Well, that'll be one of those things we'll have to wait and see. So we'll keep that low chance of some wintry weather in southern Arkansas. That'll be early next week and late next week, as well as the pattern. The overall weather pattern is going to stay this way with a big area of cold air and low pressure that's really going to settle in. And this truly is what could bring Arkansas some of its bigger colossal snows, is when you have the positioning of a low. Is it going to be a little further in the Gulf? If it's hugging the coast and it's fairly strong, it's going to sling moisture back over that cold air mass. And that's what we need, plus the upper level support of that needs to track somewhere near or over Arkansas. Got to have the cold air in place first. So those are some of the things that we're keeping an eye on going forward this week while we have the cold air here in Arkansas and across a good part of the southern U.S. And it's a fairly significant cold air outbreak. And in January, I might be below average considering where we left off in December. Wouldn't be surprised if that truly is the case. All right, let me just review real quick 7-day forecast for you. This is what we expect with the weather impact alert that is in effect for Sunday through Tuesday. This is for the Little Rock area, the metro area, and we highlighted in red to show you, hey, there's something here that's caught our eye. We want to make sure that you're well aware that we've got some colder weather coming up, and we might even see some light precipitation there. And what happens is that banner's covering up the Tuesday chance, was right now it's 20%, but Thursday we got a very small chance coming in as well. Martin Luther King Day is Monday, and it's a federal holiday. A lot of folks have the day off. Schools are out. Just glad we don't really expect any wintry weather that day with kids being out of school. Would be a great day for it, but I'm just glad we're not going to have to worry about it because kids will be out. But looking forward, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we jump back up with our temperatures once again hitting the upper 30s to lower 40s. Okay, I do want to do one thing. Let's call up Max 2, Mike. By the way, I'm with our director today, Michael Bennett, who is along for the ride with us this afternoon, and he's the guy that's helping me navigate through all of this stuff. Max 2, okay, hold on just a second. I thought I had something up here. On Max 2, I have a graphic here, Mike. Is it not showing up? Try it again. Max 2? Okay, well, this is what happens in live broadcasts sometimes. All right, let me see if I can find the picture. You got it? Okay. I was just going to talk our way through a couple of graphics. There's a lot of numbers folks out there, and they like the numbers game. I know Nathan's a big climate guy and a big numbers guy, and that's Storm Track 11. Huh. Okay, well, that's it. There it is. We knew we'd find it. working with 2 or 3 different computers here. Days in a row, Little Rock was 32 degrees or lower. I don't think this is going to be that impactful, but look at that list. You go back to December of 1983. I'm sure there's some folks that remember December of 83. I remember that year. 12 days where we were below 32. In recent memory, go back to February 11th through the 18th in 2021. Who remembers that? That was the big snowfall that we had here in Arkansas, with in 2 big snowstorms in 1 week. So that's recent memory, those dates. Then you got 1973 with 7. I think we might see a couple of 3 days. This is not going to be record breaking in terms of days in a row of cold. Next graphic, lowest January temperatures in 2024. We made it to 1 degree. This air mass is cold. I don't think Little Rock is going to make it to 1 degree. And by the way, I think that 1 degree happened when we had a little bit of snow on the ground. And snow tends to help with the maximum cooling effect. When skies clear out and you got snow, that radiational cooling effect really takes off. So the lowest January temperatures in 2023, it was 25. Here in Little Rock, it could get down into the lower teens one of these days this week. And if you again, looking for those freezing nights here in January, a lot of stats and data to share with you here. This is, we've had 18 in 2024. So far, we've had 12, and those are nights at or below freezing. We're going to add maybe 3 or 4 more to the list in the coming days. So if you're a stats fan, then, and you're all about wanting to know, is this the coldest air mass that we've experienced, or how cold does this compare to other air masses, then this gives you an idea. All right, let's go back to Max 1. I'll go over this weather impact alert once again that I've put into effect for Sunday through Tuesday. Was looking at it, was waiting to pull the trigger on it, so to speak. I thought, this is a good time to do it. It gives a lot of folks time to prep and plan and make sure that they've, outdoor faucets, make sure those are covered up. They got those neat little styrofoam covers. They're only about $1 a piece. You can get them at Walmart or any of your Home Depot, Lowe's stores. They have them as well. If you haven't already, it's a good idea to do that so that you can alleviate any busted pipes. All right, and if you haven't done so as well, speaking of that, those of you that have the RPZs and haven't winterized yet, you don't want to. I had a neighbor last year, his blew up because it got so cold. He didn't know not to dismantle it. You might want to go ahead and dismantle it before we hit the weekend. But Sunday through Thursday, we do have a weather impact alert. I'm sorry, Sunday through Tuesday, the weather impact. Did I say Thursday? Through Tuesday, bitter cold temperatures are expected, dangerous wind chill values, which means you need to stream the faucets. You got to check on the pets, the elderly, and be sure you dress in layers over the next few days. It is going to get cold and stay cold over a few days. With the Arctic air invading, the timeline again, we're looking at Saturday night. We really see the arrival of the coldest air. It's going to stick around for a while, Sunday through Tuesday, but low temperatures are going to fall back into the single digits and teens. They stay below 32 midnight Sunday through Wednesday afternoon in a lot of locations in Arkansas. I don't see any precipitation, or not much, if any. There might be a few snowflakes that squeeze out tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening over northern Arkansas as that air mass, that colder air mass comes in and just really wrings out the available moisture. Wind gusts are going to be high. Wind chill values are going to plunge Monday morning, and this is what the temperatures look like for the next 7 days. And I'm getting ready to, as soon as we're finished here in about a minute, I'm going to look at the latest data. And so far, just kind of looking ahead, I'm just going to keep that very small chance of precipitation in late next week. Notice our temperatures are expected to be above the 40-degree mark by Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. So yeah, it is going to be cold. Make sure that you plan ahead. You have it all ready to go so that you can deal with these cold temperatures. It's going to be at night where we're going to see the biggest difference. Lows here in the Little Rock metro area around 16 Monday, 17 on Tuesday, and we'll keep it below freezing. This is where we could add up those below 32-degree days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more days to go along with the 12 that we had, and we could match 2024 fairly easily. Okay, so that is that. Thank you for hanging out here. A little streaming on the weather that's coming up. Not a huge winter storm or anything by any stretch, but certainly some very cold air settling in here beginning Saturday night, lasting through next week. We'll see you once again tonight at 5 o'clock on THV 11.